This is SCL0320.
This is Joe Johnson 030.
We are back again. We are JVS. We got a brand new movie review for y'all.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yeah, I really appreciate it because tonight is a special night. We're actually going to be revealing who's the winner or the two winners of the 4K, which is so cool name. I love that. The 4K video game giveaway. So that's going to be coming on live stream tonight once we get done with this review. We're only going to be doing kind of a non-spoiler review for the Maze Runner, the Scorch Trials.
The Scorch.
So was it last year that we did a review for the Maze Runner?
I think so.
Yeah.
Did it come out last year?
Yeah,
last year?
I think so. Came out quick.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, it had to been last year.
Yeah.
It had to been last year, yeah.
So before we came into this, we did like our early predictions of what we thought the movie was going to be, how, if it was going to be good, if it was going to be bad. We basically kind of gave it between like a B minus to C up to an A, right? What did we think about this movie? So going down from, I guess, the visual standpoint on the CG level, the first movie, one of the things I loved about it was the actual maze. Them actually being in the confounded area, but everything outside, like when they went from their campground to going in, the maze was just so extravagant and it was so well built and it was so dangerous. The things that you wonder in your head is like, who built this, first of all? And then how are these reavers like put into this story arc? Because it seems to me that every person that kind of comes out, they end up either becoming a reaver or something happens. So I always love to assume that the kids were becoming reavers. That's one of the things I was like, when I go to the Scorch Trials, I was like, maybe they kind of go into that. But as far as the visuals from the first one, it was really good. But this one, it's just on a really big, broad location space because they go everywhere. They go from the desert space, they go to areas where it's just completely rain and thunder and lightning, to you got a whole different element of creatures in this one that, dare I say, remind me of 28 Days Later, to be quite honest with you. And it's really dangerous. And it brings a different element to it. It makes it feel like, all right, there's more to this world. It's really kind of post-apocalyptic kind of feeling, kind of like a Mad Max kind of feel. But at the same time, like I kind of lean towards, like, I Am Legend. I kind of got moments like that. There was one scene in this one where they were literally running from these things, and like they literally stopped right at the edge. I was like, this is a Mad Max and I Am Legend moment, because I was like, all right, just get in the sunlight and you'll be okay. That's how I was kind of feeling. But that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. I mean, to pull away from different movies that are good like that, to me, that's good. As far as the visuals is concerned, as far as the location and spotting, I thought I was done really well, especially the camera angles with each kind of scene, because there's a lot of messed up stuff that does happen to the kids in this one, and there's a lot of rough patches that go through. But it was to me, I thought the visuals were pretty decent. I just wasn't too keen on the soundtrack. I thought the soundtrack could have been a little bit better. Some of the sound cues as far as certain points within the movie. But other than that, I mean, I have a real problem with it because this wasn't there like I wanted it to. But what did you think about the acting? And as far as just the scope of the movie?
Let's see. I mean, I think the acting from the first one compared to the first one, I feel like there was more drama in the first one between characters. Mm-hmm. So the acting was it demanded for like, just I think like just more. The actors had to just pretty much go deeper or pull from like a source of pretty much more of a creativity and actually being able to like fully act or whatever. This is more so action. There's more action than it is, I feel like, actual we're actually dealing with anything like loss or something like that. Well, there's a couple scenes where they are, but this movie didn't really call for that too much. It didn't really focus on that. It was a lot of movement. From one place to another. So you didn't really. It didn't call for moments to where like that kind of like zeroed in like on emotional pulling moments, you know?
Yeah, because I mean, the whole first one was like the main character, Thomas, or Dylan O'Brien's character, he's put into something without any memories at all. All of them didn't have any memories prior to being put in there. And he's just like trying to figure himself out, but he knows so much more than them on a mental level. And the character, Gally, you know, the big guy, it was a head-to-head kind of thing. Like, you don't know who you can trust, and at the same exact time you had characters such as Minho, who comes back in this one, Newt that's back in this one, and they kind of are like, who's this new guy, but they come to love him, and it adds to the camaraderie between them. There's a real brotherhood there, you know, there's real substance and meat. So I agree that it was a lot more tangibly from the writing standpoint that they could do with that one than more so in this one, because they're just kind of put into the fire. Like, they made it out, and now they're putting into this environment where you're thinking everything is good. You're like, okay, everything's all right. Then you find out that nothing is what it seems. And on top of the world that they're in, they're not prepared for it mentally, emotionally, or physically. And at the same exact time, there are things that happen with certain characters that you don't realize that was going to happen, which there's no spoilers in this one, by the way. As far as the acting, for me, I think Dylan O'Brien, he just kills it, period. This dude, every time I kind of see him in an action sequence, I'm like, why is he not our Spider-Man? Like, why? Like, I mean, if you want to make somebody mid to 15 to 25 years old, he is the perfect size, spectrum, and just personality. Not just that, he's hilarious. I mean, in Teen Wolf, he's really funny, you know, but then he can be really dramatic. He can hit his moments. In this one, I like that his character, Thomas, was really the leader all throughout. Like, there was never a point that I was like, people aren't looking to him, or people are not aspiring to be like him, or, you know. And I thought that was really cool. There was another character in this one, was Iris. I like that character. I think that acting-wise, like, it wasn't anything special, but I think that the portrayal of the character was done justice. Like, I just really liked the character, and the person that actually played it, he did a good job, in my opinion. I think his name is Jacob Laughlin. I think Ki Hong Lee, he plays the guy Neho, the Asian guy. Like, the one that was the runner in the beginning with him. Mm-hmm. I really like his character. Like, I mean, I don't know if his character is to be designed to be likable, but I really like his character. The problem is, it's just, like you said, they're not giving anything to do but to survive. Like, you think they ran a lot in the first one, and Joe and me said this, like, they were running the whole entire movie. There was never a point that they weren't running, climbing, like, just kind of losing it, you know? But they did do one thing that I did like. They added new additions. I think was his name. He plays Gus in Breaking Bad. Giancarlo Esposito. He plays Georgia. And then the other person that plays Brenda, her name is Rosa Salazar.
She played in something else too. I don't know what she played in.
I don't know either. I've seen her in something else. But I liked her character. I thought that, all honesty, I was like, because the first movie, I was led to believe, like, the first girl that plays Teresa, I was like, that's a good love interest, you know? I mean, they have equal ground. In this movie, I did not like Teresa at all. I did not even like the performance necessarily that the actress was actually playing. I really gravitated more towards the character Brenda in this one. I actually was like,
I think they set it up like that though. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like they yeah.
And that, and I mean, I might end up sounding a little bit negative on this one, Joe. But this is what I feel about the movie. I enjoyed the action. I enjoyed the continuation of it as a sequel. But I feel as though this movie was not an adaptation of the book. It was the book. I felt like moments in this movie, like, people would make decisions or do this versus doing it that. I felt like it was so scripted that there was never going to be a point that, okay, this character, even though they're about to, something's about to happen to them in this book like this, that it goes a different way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel as though it was all confounded within the realms of the book. They didn't make this an adaptation of the book. They made it the book. I felt like it really felt constrained in the sense of there was never, in my opinion, a feeling of, okay, this character, this is what's going to happen to this character, and I'm going to be surprised by it. You know, that didn't feel that. I knew each subtle cue that was going to happen. I was like, okay, the character Thomas, he's going to do this and pick this object up, but this person is going to jump in and mess it up. I just knew that's kind of how it was going to play out. And I think one of the things I love about the Hunger Games is that the Hunger Games, there's so much stuff that goes on with the weight of everything that I feel like the performances, they kind of like shine over any kind of feeling of like, man, this is a book. I feel like with the Hunger Games series, that it just goes there, you know? Like, there's never any realms that I'm like, okay, if they want to, they will kill this character when the character's supposed to be in the book. Mm-hmm. In this movie, they play that too much to a T that they're like, okay, this is how it was, this is how it was, this is how it was. Instead, like, I'm like, okay, yeah, like, you got this person, Brenda and Thomas, yeah, they don't mesh. But for some reason, like, we're finding we're liking them more together. And now people that are fans are shipping, okay, let's see where that goes, and then maybe not. Maybe they deviate from the actual book. And even I haven't even read the books, but I feel like they're trying to keep it too close to the books. Because the reason why I say that is because in this one, they could have went and talked about the Grievers. They could have went and talked about the architect of the maze. And they don't necessarily go into that because they're too structuralized to keep it right at one standing for the film. Now, I'm not saying that that's not going to lower my film rating down, but in the sense, like, they could have done so much more. It could have been so much, not necessarily darker, they could have went there a lot better. And I feel like because it was kind of like constrained like that, it keeps the actors at bay as far as with the script that they're given. You know what I'm saying? Like, they kind of, they can only play it one type of way, you know, versus like, let's see where it might go. Cause you know, like The Walking Dead, right? The Walking Dead is an adaptation of the comic book. There are characters in the Walking Dead comic books that are still alive that are already dead in the show. Like, real talk. Mm-hmm. And I love that. Like, they're not exactly foreshadowing the same because they're like, they don't want to be constricted to that. Mm-hmm. That's what you're saying. I don't know. But, I mean, it's not that I dislike the movie. I just feel like I found that was one thing that I did not like about the movie. But as far as, like, the scope, as far as the... Even, like I said, Dylan O'Brien, he kills it. Mm-hmm. Even the character, George... everybody, they brought it, as far as I was concerned. But, I don't know. I felt like it was really constrained. What's your thoughts on it, Jeff?
I mean, I liked it. Plot-wise, I didn't. Plot-wise, I don't. It has a simpler plot. Than the first one.
They're really different movies. I can't compare them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I feel like the first one, it was just like you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's a good like suspense for that. They added like a lot of like thrill factors in this one.
Yeah, people were jumping out of this
stuff like that. However, I mean, there's. I feel like with this one, I don't know how it connects or correlates with. I feel like they didn't do a good job transitioning from the first one to the second one.
Yeah.
And telling how that story, how those stories are pretty much bound up together.
Yeah.
Mainly because there's kind of like a new party involved or like a new contractor that's pretty much working with like the previous the maze basically, but it's at a different location.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's to say I don't feel like they explain that well or why that was important. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Without spoiling anything, like if you watch it, you're like,
you kind of understand what we mean by that.
Yeah. Cause based off this one, it's like, then why would you need a maze in the first place?
Yeah, because I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
When this is a spoiler as far as the first movie, when I came out the first movie, I was like, okay, they were just meant to get through this part of this test.
Yeah,
and the next thing is them getting out into the real world, and this is a whole nother test. Now, the movie, like I said, they're totally different movies, but this is a psychological maze. There are maze factors that play into the realm of this movie, but this is not a continuation off of any kind of set thing that happened from the first one. Like, I mean, even though, like, I was, like, thinking, okay, this is one trial, and then this is the next thing they're going to go through, it's not like that. It's not what you think. And I don't know if that's because I didn't read the book, or if that's false advertisement, or just the way the transition happened, but that's why I said that if they didn't keep it so tight knit, they could have made that transfer a lot better, in my opinion. But anyway, as far as the rating, what do I give this? I give it a 7.5. I give it a 7.5. What about you?
I give it an 8. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. Surprisingly, I didn't think I would actually.
Like, yeah, it has its faults, but overall, it's a good movie. I think it's worth, going out and watching it. I feel like you'll have a good time. You'll enjoy the experience.
Yeah, definitely go out with your date. You know what I'm saying? Take your girl out, and like it's a good, not just action flick, but like I can see a lot of people going and watching it together and kind of just enjoying the.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it takes from like the Divergent, the Hunger Games, and it adds a lot of different effects to it, but it was good. I enjoyed it. Yeah. But anyway, we got to get ready for this giveaway, so stay tuned. We're about to go live in just a little bit. This is SEL 0320.
It's Joe Johnson 030.
We out, everybody.
Gone.
Deuces.
Deuces.